Tonight on Joy News Prime, former Auditor General Daniel Domelevu laments over current state of audit service, which he says has demoted some officers who helped him unravel issues of financial impropriety in the infamous Kroll case.
I must say that all the people who were associated or identified to have a role to play in the audit of the Ministry of Finance, which resulted in the senior minister's issue or that of Crow and Associates, have all had their share.
He also believes the affairs of state could be effectively handled with just about 8 ministries. Military officers in the Upper West Region capital accused of assaulting civilians in Wa over the theft of a mobile phone. Also in this bulletin, government set up 3-member committee to investigate EJURA violence in which 2 people lost their lives and 4 others severely injured. The families of the deceased victims, however, disagree with the ability of the committee to do a thorough job. And in business, a trade and development agency announces $1.2 million grant to beef up operations at the KOTOKU International Airport.
An increasingly strong demand for MRO facilities presents an opportunity for Ghana and for KOTOKU International Airport in particular to serve as a regional hub.
My name is ADJEN. Joy News Prime is coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlimle on your digital terrestrial TV, because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. Remember, this is your home of independent, fearless, credible and impactful journalism. Do stay tuned in.
Joy News Prime headlines was brought.
Many thanks for choosing us. Let's begin with the former Auditor General Daniel Domelevu, who has revealed some employees of the audit service who helped him to raise issues of financial impropriety in the Kroll case against the former senior minister Yao Safomafa have been demoted, with one of them transferred to the Central Region. Speaking during the Domelevu Accountability Lectures organized by Friedrich Ebert Stiftung on the theme, "Can a public officer fight corruption without political backing?" he stated his heart bleeds for the current state of the audit service, which he once headed.
My heart bleeds and I weep for audit service. Since the day that the president forced me on leave and finally said I should go on compulsory retirement, I must say that all the people who were associated or identified to have a role to play in the audit of the Ministry of Finance, which resulted in the senior minister's issue or that of Crow and Associates, have all had their share. The Deputy Auditor General, who was in charge of central government audit, which is the ministry's audit, is today sent to Ministry of Finance as a director. More or less, he has been brought 2 steps lower to go and report to the directors or the chief directors and the minister who his audit had problem with. The Assistant Auditor General who led the audit has been transferred into the regions. In fact, even the lawyer who led the case in court, the Director of Legal Service, has been transferred as we speak to Cape Coast. He is now a district director in Cape Coast. The argument is that he applied to audit service and started as an auditor before becoming a lawyer. So he should go back and do audit instead of being a lawyer. But a system, what type of system is this?
Mr. Domelevu says government does not need more than 8 ministries to run the affairs of the state, adding the cost of managing some of the ministries could be used to provide badly needed social amenities for the populace.
It is not to do with only the anti-corruption agencies or institutions. The public sector as a whole must be looked at to determine whether it is fit for purpose. A small country like Ghana, with 16 regional administrations, in fact, 16 ministers at the regions, and over 200 district chief executives, I don't think we need more than 8 ministries. If you want to understand what I'm saying, look at the budgets for the ministries, and look at the infractions that the ministries they occasion anytime the audit report is ready. I think ministries are for strategic decision making and oversight. So it is not a minister who should be at the center of awarding contracts. Maybe because of their personal economic recovery program, but that should not be allowed. Now, look at some specific ministries. The Constitution provides for us to have education service, and we also have Ministry for Education. Can these two institutions be made, come together, so that we can save the taxpayers some money? The Ministry of Health exists alongside Ghana Health Service. Can these two institutions come together? What about the Ministry of Interior?
Chief Justice Kwesi Enengyeboah has declined a request by former COCOBOD CEO Dr. Stephen Opuni that his case is adjudicated by a different judge. Dr. Opuni has on 2 occasions pushed for Supreme Court Judge Justice Clemens Onyanuga, who is currently hearing the case as an additional High Court judge, to recuse himself. But this has failed. Dr. Opuni and businessman Seido Agongo have been on trial since 2017 of an alleged 2017 $217 million lost cost to the state in the purchase of fertilizers. Dr. Opuni last 2 weeks petitioned the Chief Justice, claiming yet again that a judge is not giving him a fair hearing.
A High Court.
Police have arrested 10 suspects involved in various crimes committed across the capital, Accra. The criminal acts, according to the police, include attempted robbery and illegal possession of narcotics and fake currencies. The suspects are currently in the custody of police assisting investigations, with the police urging the public to volunteer information to help curb crime in the city. Here's a news desk report detailing some of the criminal acts.
On 30th June 2021, police arrested 4 men for allegedly trafficking substances suspected to be Indian hemp at Alija in Ashaliboche. The 4 suspects, Bismarck Pomono, 27, Brides Deku, 32, Francis Asare, 42, and Richard Aguaje, 22, were rounded up by the police when they were offloading 31 sacks containing compressed cakes of plant materials suspected to be Indian hemp. The 4 suspects are currently under detention for investigation and prosecution, and the substances seized for analysis. In a similar event in Dansoman, police dispatched the team to Bean Lodge Hotel on the 29th of June upon a tip-off that some individuals were involved in counterfeiting. 5 suspects, namely Akwesi Boateng, Michael Marfo-Hene, Bismarck Terrier, Richard Walker and Prince Nketia, who were in possession of a pistol, 108 bundles of fake dollars, and a wooden box containing 34 bundles of fake safer currency and a quantity of fake 200 Ghana cedi notes in an ice chest mixed with powder, were arrested at the lodge. With the exception of suspect Prince Nketia, who has been granted bail, all others are still in police custody, assisting with investigation. At Amasaman, however, police received a distress call on the 29th of June to the effect that thieves had broken into Amasaman Melcom. The patrol team within jurisdiction responded swiftly and arrested suspect Richard Esirifi, aged 22, who attempted to escape by jumping from the first floor of the shopping mall to the ground. He sustained injuries on his left hand and right leg. He was arrested and is currently on admission at the hospital for treatment. His 3 other accomplices escaped arrest, and efforts are underway to get them arrested.
Soldiers of the 10th Mechanized Battalion in Wa have been accused of brutalizing some residents of the Upper West Regional Capital, Wa, apparently over the theft of a mobile phone. Several of the victims are reported to have sustained injuries, with 2 of them currently on admission at the Wa Municipal Hospital. One of the victims, 29-year-old vulcanizer Gafar Muhammad, is suspected to have a fracture in his right thigh. The public relations officer of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, Cletus Awuni, is also another victim. He's been speaking about the incident.
How? Thank God we are taking short of this. How? And so you just have to brutalize this person like this without even telling him the reason why you are being assaulting him. This is unacceptable. How?
They just snubbed me and went ahead. And before I could say Jack, 5 of them were running after. They just pounced on one Kambu rider, slapping him, beating him. Then that was why I said, no, this is too much. If these people should do this, they can get away with it without any evidence. So I picked my phone and filmed what they were doing. So when I filmed it, some of them saw me filming it. So they head towards our vehicle. They were saying that you are filming us. Who is filming? Why are you filming us? And I said, oh, before the NADMO director could talk, they dragged him out of his car, collected his phones. They collected the NADMO regional director's phone and dragged him out of the car. They asked for me. When I turned to look at the other side, they held my shirt, pulled me out of the car. And when they pulled me out, they were asking me, I'm the one videoing them. Before I could realize, they kept an object, hit my head 3 times on the head, and another one hit from behind. So then they were now saying that you are videoing us. So I shouted at them. I said, do you know who I am? You don't even know me and you are beating me. Then the one of them said, who are you? So they were saying that the video I've taken, I should delete it. I should delete the video. And they should bring the phone. But then they have collected my phone. One, they collected, but one fell down on the quote and the screen has even spot. So they collected that phone. One of them said, bring the phone so that he will delete the video. They should ensure that I delete the video out. Then I told them I won't delete the video. It's not a crime videoing you. It's not a crime video, I won't delete the video. So they were using the shockers on me. Trying to use the shocker, they were using the shockers to shock me. They shocked all over my body, but I didn't mind them.
Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam joins us with more. Rafiq, can you tell us how this whole thing started? Hello, Rafiq. If you're on Zoom, I'm asking you how did the whole thing start? Right. Rafiq, can you unmute for me? Rafiq, kindly unmute for me.
How?
Are you hearing me now?
Thank God we are taking short of
that. Rafiq, tell us how it all started. I can hear you loud and clear.
It started somewhere around 1:45 this afternoon on the Tindamba Crescent when over 50 soldiers came from the 10 Mechanized Battalion came into town on private vehicles, and anybody that they cited, the person is whipped. They use stones on some people and push other people to the gutters. And so the people were really surprised about what really transpired. And so our future engagement with some of them, they told us that yesterday around 8 p.m., one of them came to town in Mopti, and he has his mobile phone allegedly being snapped. And so it's a reprisal attack. The military came back to retrieve that mobile phone, and that was why they were in town. So they started the action from around the junction, from the Tindamba Crescent and up to the War Market. All the people that they saw, and then they made sure that they allegedly assaulted them. And so dozens of them were taken to the War Municipal Hospital and some taken to the regional hospital.
Have you spoken to some people in authority in the region? What have they been telling you?
Hello?
I'm asking if you've spoken with people in authority in the region, Rafiq. It looks like Rafiq is finding some
I have to speak to the top hierarchy of the police command, because I'm told that, yes, I have spoken to the police command in the region. Hello?
Rafiq, go ahead.
Hello?
There. We'll try and get him back, but still to come in this bulletin, government sets up 3-member committee to investigate EJURA violence, in which 2 people lost their lives and 4 others were severely injured. The families of the deceased victims are disagreeing over the ability of the committee to do a thorough job. And in business, U.S. Trade and Development Agency announces a $1.2 million grant to beef up operations at the KOTOKU International Airport.
An increasingly strong demand for MRO facilities presents an opportunity for Ghana and for KOTOKU International Airport in particular to serve as a regional hub.
We are back shortly with more on Joy News Prime. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. To the rest of our stories, a 3-member committee has been constituted by the Interior Ministry to investigate the shooting of 2 persons at EJURA in the Ashanti region. It follows a directive by President Akufo-Addo for a public inquiry to be conducted into the circumstances surrounding last Tuesday's violence, which also left 4 persons severely injured. The committee members are George Kingsley Kumsin, Justice of the Court of Appeal, as chairman, security expert Dr. Vladimir Ntridanso, and Juliet Amwa, Executive Director of Pen Plus Byte, a civil society organization. Marie-Louise Simons, a principal state attorney, will be the secretary of the committee. But who are they? And they're just on your screens. Justice George Kingsley Kumsin, appointed to the Court of Appeal by President Akufo-Addo in 2020. He presided over a case brought to the High Court by Kwabena Dufour's Unicredit after the Bank of Ghana revoked the bank's license. Appointed to the High Court by President Kufuor until his elevation to the Appeals Court. He's a former Circuit Court judge in Akim Swedro Circuit Court. Currently, Vladimir Ntridanso is the Dean of the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. He's former Director, University of Ghana, Legon Center of International Affairs and Diplomacy, LESIAD, former senior lecturer at the University of Ghana. He's a former lecturer and security analyst at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Center. And Juliet Amwa is Executive Director of Pen Plus Bytes. She's former Head of Business Development for Africa Region Parliamentary Center and former Deputy Business Director at the British Council. Joining me on the phone for more is Professor Kwesi Ening. He is the Director at the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. Prof, I'm grateful for your time. It's a public inquiry what we need at this time.
What we need, I mean, that can be one part of the process. But what we need truly is that those on the panel can come to grips with the multiple reasons why somebody was murdered, leading to multiple intelligence failures and the imposition of the military that resulted in the death of Ghanaian citizens and the maiming of others. And thirdly, the broad structural underpinnings to this violence that may have other repercussions elsewhere. And finally, a strong set of recommendations that seek to be preventive in terms of ensuring that we don't see a repetition of these occurrences. But one is to get all these things done. The second is the implementation. committees of inquiry resulting from public disturbances and the death of Ghanaians. I mean, I can reel off a couple of them. And the subsequent recommendations and the white paper that comes thereof have hardly been implemented. So implementation is a critical aspect of this process.
Well,
equally, yeah.
Go ahead, Prof.
Yeah. But equally importantly will be the perception of the people whose experiences and unfortunate ones at that perceive of the team. So there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done.
Unfortunately, the people who are at the center of the probe say they do not want it. Rather, they want a parliamentary probe. Wouldn't this make the Commission's work difficult?
Well, I think it makes it an uphill task. And it would be quite nice to know why they have a preference for one type of probe to inquiry as against the other. Because I am sure that the essence of the request plus the President's suggestion that such a probe is established is, proactive prevention of the spread of what has happened, and also to come to grips with what drove people to these excesses. But when those who have suffered themselves have already, signaled that they will not collaborate, or at least from what I've heard and read, there is a split in the town as to whether they want to collaborate or not. Then makes it very difficult for even the startup phase of this panel. So we need some sort of probably backdoor mediation and engagement with those who are involved in EJURA, at least creating the basis for trust and for an openness to engage. We may need to let them know that the state understands their pain, their suffering, and that there is a legitimate desire to come to grips with what has happened, to understand it, to prevent anything happening again, but even more importantly, to punish those who failed in their responsibility to protect and to create a society free from fear. Certainly, there have been some failures in intelligence, in decision-making at multiple levels, in policing, and in the type of order and instructions given to the military.
Prof, what do you make of the caliber of people who make up the commission? Will they make any difference?
One is the term that you use, the caliber. I mean, I don't know two of them or three of them. I know Dr. Infidanso, but that's what I'm saying. That one needs, the team will have to be bold to drill down, ask the difficult question. Very quickly send a signal as to what I'm saying earlier on, that we care, we understand, that we take our remit very seriously, that although there's a history of non-implementation, one of the first things that we will ensure, or at least a recommendation that will come, is that our work will not be useful if our recommendations are not implemented. But But this is not something that they can say in public right now. So we need some process, the mediation process of generating trust with the township people. But look, this job can and must be done, and it's tweak the head, and then we can begin the process of reconciliation, of dialogue, and of rebuilding the trust that has been lost.
I'm extremely grateful for your time. Professor Kwesi Enin is Director, Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Center. The family of Abdul Nasser Yusuf, one of those killed in Tuesday's disturbances in EJURA, says it expected investigations on the shooting incident to have been left to Parliament or an internal body. According to family leader Abdullah Abubakar, the establishment of a committee by Ministry of the Interior to investigate the incident amounts to conflict of interest. He says the work of such committees in the past has not been impressive.
I don't know the type of committee they have formed, but to me, I think there are several things that has been passed for the past, and then they were not able to prove any evidence of justice, like the death of Ahmed Saleh. Up to now, no any justice for the journalist who was informing, educating, helping the government to fight against corruption, as you are doing. Up to now, nothing is done.
So what are your fears?
My fears is that if it's the same people they choose as the community, the inquiring community, I'm not in agreement with that. I want them to take the problem to the parliament. The parliamentarians should choose a commission for inquiry that will inquire, or they call international community to come and inquire and then investigate this case. Those people who came in, they were policemen, army men, full armed with army uniform. Who sent them? It's the minister. Do you think this minister will defend us and leave them? It's their people.
Does that mean a rejection of the committee that has been set up?
I don't know the type of committee that has been set, but to my opinion, if they want justice and they want truth to reveal, they have to call international community, or they take it to the parliament, and then the parliament will choose a commission to inquire and then investigate the case.
Another section of the family, however, believes the committee will do a good job irrespective of the ministry's role in its establishment. Abdul Ganiu is brother of the deceased.
Committee now Martino say ometimi ede omani atofom na omaye omuhwehwemu yi na nokre no abeda ho nokre no nso da ho a omoma ye nhunu say nokre no enie se ne be ya ye nso abusua no yakuma abeto yem nti ani age say omampeni atu sana mo no.
Minister for the Interior Ambrose Seri has assured families that members of the committee are distinguished individuals who will do a good job.
What is the basis for that? Because you have a judge of the Court of Appeal. You have Vladimir Anchudansu, who is known in this country as one of the best security experts. And you have this lady who is CSO. There's no police there. There's no military there. So why should anybody feel afraid? Go before them and talk. And we would protect anybody who goes there to say anything. And in the end, we want the justice.
Can you confirm that the third person who has been arrested is also related to Kaka?
Well, you saw Kaka's mother. And when we got to the house, they said that the woman has 3 children. One is dead, which is Kaka. One has been arrested. And the third one is taken ill, which they believe is connected to the fact that the Kaka's brother has been arrested. So they are confirming that. What will give you assurance is that we are going to find who killed Kaka. And that one, there's no compromise. If the brother didn't kill Kaka, I'm sure you go free. Yeah. But if you kill Kaka, the law will take its course.
Shortly in business, U.S. Trade and Development Agency announces $1.2 million grant to beef up operations at the KOTOKU International Airport. Details.
Hello there, welcome to Business here on Joy News Prime. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. In this edition, the United States Trade and Development Agency has announced a $1.2 million grant for a feasibility study to support the development of a maintenance, repair and overhaul facility at the KOTOKU International Airport here in Ghana. The U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Stephanie Sullivan, presided over the ceremony here in Accra. Charles Aite has more in this report.
No matter how minor or complicated the repair works could be, airlines must repair their aircraft at a certified MRO in order for the aircraft to return to service. But with the unavailability of maintenance and overhaul repair facilities in Ghana, airlines had to utilize MROs in other parts of Africa. Speaking at the launch of the grant, the U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Stephanie Sullivan, explains that this study builds on the previous USTDA feasibility study in 2009, 2011 and 2012 to undertake enhancement at the KOTOKU International Airport.
Currently, Ghana and West Africa are losing the fiscal benefit and reputational status of having an MRO capacity. MRO facilities on the African continent represent approximately 4% of the global MRO market, with only 3 existing MROs in Africa and no MRO facility at all in West Africa. An increasingly strong demand for MRO facilities presents an opportunity for Ghana and for KOTOKU International Airport in particular to serve as a regional hub, creating skilled job opportunities and elevating Ghana's position in the aviation sector.
The managing director of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, KWAKWA, explained that the feasibility study will go a long way to reduce costs involved aircraft repair and maintenance works.
With excellent customer service that goes with the need to provide our services in a safe and secure manner, we know that we need to also develop the facilities that goes with the sector development. And this MRO is going to go a good length to further cement us that way. I was extremely happy to hear the Deputy Minister of Defense saying that we should extend the MRO facility to other regional airports. Indeed, we do have that. And so we believe that, for instance, Tamale is going to be a very good place for another MRO facility.
On his part, the Deputy Transport Minister, Hassan Tampolu Suleiman, lauded the initiative as it sets the country as the aviation hub for West Africa.
The potential for growth of the air transport industry and its attendant benefits remains huge. With the easing of the COVID-19 pandemic, the aviation industry is gradually bouncing back to life with very promising prospects for growth and expansion. This steady growth is expected to increase the frequency of aircraft movement on the continent and thus creating an insatiable demand for adequate aircraft MRO facilities to service them.
The establishment of the maintenance and overhaul repairs facility makes Ghana the only aviation hub in West Africa to have such a facility. This activity supports the Prosper Africa Initiative, a U.S. government initiative to substantially increase two-way trade and investment between the United States and Africa.
Charles Aite put together that report. Now, Ghana's mobile lottery 787, after its almost 1 million cedi jackpot record, has rewarded a student from Aplaku a whopping 20,000 cedis in its just-ended draw. Draw 93 was held on Saturday, June 26, 2021. There's more in this report.
Prince Edward Nikpakpo Adote, the winner from Aplaku, Greater Accra region, upon receiving the 20,000 cedis prize, shared the prize will be of greater good to his academic life. Excited Prince expressed gratitude to the 787 lottery and urged all to partake in this week's super promising jackpot.
I'm not really a believer of things, especially when you're using phones for raffles or draws or something. But I just said, why not take a chance? I mean, it won't really hurt me in any way. So I chose to save a little money, and on Saturday I chose to
buy a ticket and enter into the draw. And also, I was even asleep when the draw was over. And when I woke up, and to my surprise, I saw a message on my phone telling me I had won 20,000 cedis. And I didn't believe. I was like, how? And a few minutes later, I got a call saying that I've won 20,000 cedis. And I was really excited. I was shaking. I was shaking 100%, and I still didn't believe it till I got here. It's a game of chance. So if you take the chance, if you take the risk, there's a very high possibility that you win. So I encourage anyone who is thinking of joining star 787 hash.
The head of customer experience, Richard Akotobanfo, at the event announced star 787 hash guarantees an extra 1,000 cedis win for 5 lucky players at a purchase of tickets before 12 midnight every Friday.
This Saturday, we are looking at a jackpot value of 369,500 Ghana cedis. My friend, this is big. This is huge. There's another big jackpot. You can be the new winner. All you have to do is to load your mobile wallet with some cash and then dial star 787 hash to play. Just follow the prompt and then just enter, your MMPIN, and then you can stand a chance to win 369,500 Ghana cedis with only 5 Ghana cedis or more. To stand a higher chance, just play more and then increase your chance of winning.
Well, if lottery is your thing, there you go. And that's it for this hour. I'm back at 8:30, and Aisha Ibrahim is standing by to continue with the news. But before that, there is sport with Hans Mensah Ando. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. Thank you.
Many thanks for staying with us. My name is Hans Mensah Ando, and it's time to bring you sports. Ghana has dropped plans to construct a 50,000 capacity stadium at Borteman for the 2023 Africa Games, which will be hosted by the country. Youth and Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf made the disclosure yesterday in Parliament.
In May 2018, the Ministry of Youth and Sports launched a bid for the right to host and organize the 13th African Games in 2023. Ghana was declared winner among other competing countries, including Egypt, Burkina Faso, at the 3rd Specialized Technical Committee on Youth, Culture and Sports meeting on 25th October 2018 in Algiers in Algeria. Mr. Speaker, immediately after Ghana won the right to host and organize the African Games, the Ministry of Youth and Sports constituted a project team to start the process leading to the hosting of the 13th African Games. An assessment of facilities was done, and none was found to be suitable to host the game. The plan adopted was to construct an Olympic stadium complex at Borteman. The stadium complex, which was planned to be built on 100 acres of land, comprised of a 50,000-seater stadium capacity with FIFA standard football pitch, a World Athletic standard athletic track, a warm-up track, a gymnasium, 2 multi-purpose halls, 8-lane swimming pool, and an 8-lane warm-up swimming pool, 5 tennis courts, including 1,000-seater center courts.
President of the now-defunct Normalization Committee of the Ghana Football Association, Dr. Kofi Amoah, has called on government to suspend the construction of flyovers with borrowed monies and invest part of the money into the country's football. Speaking at the Ghana Football Forum, Dr. Amoah said that the football industry in Ghana has a potential of boosting the country's economy, but it requires investment from the state to make it a success. He believes $300 million will be enough.
If we want this football not to be pumping on the chest because we are Ghana, we are going to win. But we want this football to represent a platform for uniting us, for making us happy, and also for creating jobs for our people and for creating wealth in our society. Then we must understand the fundamentals of how this industry works. You have to invest. And here's my proposal to the nation. I am not in favor of borrowing left and right, but we have been borrowing billions, Eurobonds. I am calling for a $300 million investment into the Ghana football industry. And I believe that if we make this investment properly, allocate it to the different segments, grassroots, infrastructure, incentivizing, subsidizing Ghanaian football clubs, who in turn can pay their players well, player welfare, train their coaches, have good coaches, good technical, solid people, and of course, pay our referees and match commissioners and cameramen well. The support backbone that makes it work. $300 million to invest in Ghana football. That may be just not building, 2 or 3 flyovers. Let's suspend building 3 flyovers and seriously look at putting this money into Ghana football so that eventually the passion we have for this game and the purpose for which it can play to create jobs for a lot of the youth whose dreams are in this area.
Joy Prime will show Belgium versus Italy as well as England versus Ukraine live on Friday and Saturday respectively in our continuous coverage of Euro 2020. And that's it for this installment. More sports later in the bulletin.
And that's it for World News. That'll be it for those of you watching on Joy Prime. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. The news continues on Joy News. And it's time for Showbiz. Bibi is here. Hello.
Hello to you, Aisha. How you doing?
I'm good.
Today, let's talk about identity, how important our identity is. And we have Sarkodie here. You know, he's got an album coming up, No Pressure. So he's doing few media rounds. Okay. And so he's been talking about how important or the essence of keeping or holding on to your identity. Yeah, you love that song.
I do.
Aisha, this story I'm about to present to you.
Okay.
I need to. So, Eno Baroni, she won Best Rap Performance, and she says that she's very emotional because as a girl, she's always seen herself, you know, there at the VGMA stage, you know, winning awards, and it's and she can actually see the dream come true, and it makes her very, very emotional.
She's got some wicked lyrics.
Yeah.
Dream was big, but it was looking so impossible, and so seeing it come true right now, it's mixed feelings. Like, I'm happy, I'm sad, I don't know how to feel right now.
What exactly is giving you the mixed feelings?
It's been a long journey. I mean, getting to the top, I mean, I moved with a lot of people, and I wish I could be with all of them right now, seeing this moment, but it's like, not everybody's there.
Well, this is said to be a male-dominated category, hip-hop, rap, but you won it. Were you expected to win it?
That's what I'm saying. I knew I'll win one day, but I didn't know when. Yeah.
What value does this bring to Eno, the brand?
I think it makes me the god right now, so yeah. God is a woman.
Is God a woman?
Yeah.
I want to believe in Baroni that God is actually a woman.
Yeah, she has a song, you know, to that effect. So
wish her well.
All the best, really.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Stonebwoy. So Stonebwoy has officially released a song, Outside, in support of the Fix the Country, campaign. And he actually released a song today. Okay. And it's actually receiving, you know, massive airplay. If you haven't seen that or heard the song, we have a bit of it here on Prime Entertainment.
Talking about the fact that government should give.
You really heard anything in that lyrics?
Fix the country.
I say you're lying.
But he's
please, it's
talking about,
you know, some of it.
Can you speak up Patois?
Oh,
I
yeah.
can speak Patois, and I'm explaining to you what the guy is saying.
Yes, please. Me going to my house in out there, the news is officially over right here on Joy Prime.
Thank you for bringing
yes,
that showbiz, and that'll be it for showbiz. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. To the rest of our stories, joint police and military task force to be stationed at AGBOGBLOSHIE market for the next 7 days as Greater Accra Regional Minister leads efforts to relocate onion sellers from their current spot to ADJEN, KOTOKU. This comes some 16 years after the idea was hatched. What was intended to be a peaceful exercise turned chaotic when some men started throwing items at the police and military men stationed at the markets. There were gunshots and tear gas fired to disperse the angry mob. The police explained this became necessary when persons it alleges to be criminals attempted to impede the relocation exercise. Manuel Kranting was at the AGBOGBLOSHIE market for Joy News.
The activity here at the AGBOGBLOSHIE market has been geared towards relocating onion sellers from this particular point to a new spot that's been earmarked for them at ADJEN, KOTOKU. It was almost event-free up until a group of boys gathered some ties and began to burn them in the middle of the road. Well, as they did that, the police had to, as we're told, call the tensions and in the process fired some tear gas and so on and so forth. And I've just been trying to speak to a few of the traders here on the stretch that's just been rioted by the irate youth. Well, the police has been dispersing them by the use of tear gas.
Have been discussed plan regarding the evacuation of the onion traders. They have fully cooperated, and even they are not here. Currently, they are even setting up at ADJEN, KOTOKU. But it is some criminal elements that want to take advantage of the situation to mar the operation. And as I said, it is a planned operations, and you can see the security forces taking every step to protect traders even at the other side where we are. Right. Because it is the intention of the criminals also to burn and disrupt their businesses.
You still have very heavy security presence on the ground with them ensuring that nothing untoward happens. But this exercise is going to continue for about 1 week. Ordinarily, as we learned from the regional minister, this was earmarked to take about 4 days, or he says it's going to continue up until 1 week.
The team will be here for about a week to ensure that all the debris are cleared. And as I keep saying, we want to have the place a complete ground zero. So all the debris will go, and in the meantime, there will be strong joint operations patrols here between today until the time that we finish the exercise. They had planned to resist when we get here, and that we would not take. It is not going to happen. ADJEN KOTOKU is still there. There's a space for them. If they go today, they will find a space. And you know, when I started this, everybody thought, oh, it cannot happen. But please, read my lips. Nobody is going to come back here. It is done. Nobody. If they come back 10 times, we'll move them 100 times. It's not going to happen anymore. We're done.
The scrap dealers make a point that they were not informed and notified about this impending relocation exercise.
Because we have been hearing that they are going to demolish Union people. Even anytime you heard from radio station, you hear Union people, not include scrap dealers. So maybe there was a committee and then there was sensitization towards it. Who is representing with the scrap dealers in the committee? Who is representing us? If they are giving us a notice, he should swing us a letter that has been addressed to the Greater Accra Scrap Dealers Association. Let's see that letter. If only we are maybe informed and then we refuse. Yesterday we heard that rumors. We rushed to ADJEN KOTOKU asking where is our land. Some of our members went to the AMA over there. That the madam gave them somebody number and a assemblyman number that you should go there. He will show us where to sit. When we went there, we called him more than 4 hours. He didn't respond.
Me pacho, the ambassador me bisani say. Konkoma say no, yenya mwane guao. Yesu ye kanipa o ye nipa. Se do election so a. Na mo mamba, na mo kotokoto sa. Sa mo nya diwe, mo nya wie pe. Na afi mo ye ti say ye mu e bi enya mu a o. Ye nipa me ni so mo fria sa mo ba be bia yesu ye wo no. Me so me shop wo ha akola kitu ama bre. Ana me si shop ba ye ni blog. E ti say ye ba na be bubu na mo pemi ye na sa mo pemi bone. E ti do mo ye no mo hwe ni ye o. Ye enya mu a o. Ye nipa ti do mo ye no mo ye careful mo hwe ni ye. E mo ku ye na do mo ye na ti nipa ko ma.
Boss, now, then I will wait for Saturday.
Trauma, I went to Hanamo. Almost my fire hundi, Mobia soon 12, Mobia soon 2, so Mobia and Diobia, Mobia silent. Yes, we pass from you. I don't know there's some Jenny Panacha, also there's some Jabede, Ebeduchi, one fast from there, also fast from them, Duchi, and a peace, and yes, we are for no peace, and Momo.
I must say, yeah, to tear gas, a beer comment,
but tear gas in a very mistake, so my side, you know, because you only higher market. Obi on mo no be ho on am ho kwani baby na wa be say na na wa be man yare no dey coffee no disturb it and ye pampa ye pa aben na chonka sa chira police for no say ohun ye mbobo aha na ye obi na ye basa what say ye obi na ye basa so mo nto mo ni tue gas no say bibi because na say enya o mo hu ye mbobo no mo frɛ ye police for no mo form international obi am obi abutare enya ntoko e na ye gidigidi abutare na ye pa ye pom acho
ti mo no mo fifa.
Oh yeah, fancy. I you could be free enough. You'll be about my house. Maybe be a what's it? Me tombaire
phone.
Yeah, by the phone me. What must say to peace?
So it started as a mere promise, then became a goal with reasonable commitment. Or today, on July 1, 2021, the goal of the regional minister, Henry Korte, to get the onion market within the AGBOGBLOSHIE enclave cleared has seen the light of day. And for the next 1 week, we're to see heavy security presence to ensure that what has been started gets to be ended. For now, though, all we can see are debris of structures that have been pulled down and scrap dealers scavenging for what they could possibly salvage. The call is that for all those who have been moved away from here, there is no coming back. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Manuel Kranting.
The Onion Dealer and Importers Association are meanwhile demanding speedy completion of their sheds so they can settle into their new business environment. Chairman of the association, Masawudu Salisu, revealed sellers are growing impatient at the delay in construction works, which he says, if not fast-tracked, could boil over. Mamiesi Thompson has more in the following report.
The onion wholesalers grudgingly left AGBOGBLOSHIE for ADJEN KOTOKU, assured the new site offers better prospects. Teething challenges already encountered at the new site are, however, not giving them any comfort. Zakaria is a major onion seller.
Some people whereby they don't have this thing, but they came and have a place here. They came here and they said they will not go anywhere. They also want a place here. So this is a very because we need the military here to support us to do this thing, because our people, we know them. If they say no, it will turn to something else. You see, So when you see, we have a case here too. These stores have been made for only onion sellers, but the DC and his people, they have rented some of the store to some people, which is not good. They said this market is a what? Onion market. So why do they rent the store to some people, which is not good? So that one too, we will not agree on that. If the government will not come into it and then settle this thing, it will turn a gun shooting or fighting or killing here. Because the DC should take care. If he has collected money from somewhere, he should return it back to them. We will not agree on that. It's now left with every member will get his own table. That's the huge detail. We can't do it because some other people from outside came and they have a place here. When we say no, they say no. They are not living. That's why I say we need the military or that they will come into our aid and then help us to share this thing. For our 4 days, we didn't work. Onions are not coming. Only 2 cars came, and at AGBOGBLOSHIE, we sometimes 70 cars come, 50 cars. What are we doing with two cars? Look at here. There's no onion here because we didn't share the pallet to every member. So this, I mean, it's a huge issue. We don't know how to do it right now. Even our chairman is confused.
Many of the sheds were still under construction when Joy News got there. Sadat is also very unhappy. There is only one washroom serving the many traders operating from the market.
Once says in Conformuna yet now, and once a mubesi toilet was a my, it was a conichi, say conichi, a bell fire my, but they say I about a toilet near Unya baby abeju so mox sunia. So and yes say a higher one. By idea baby I need a tour, Oba baby I also share by Bibia and Yami, Tibia baby and Yami.
Chairman of the Accra Onion Dealers and Importers Association, Masawudu Salisu, anticipates the slow pace of work will only heighten tensions.
Our challenges here are lack of space, lack of facilities, toilets, bathroom, and the shade. So that's our challenges right now. The contractor didn't finish his work, but they've given us till today, 1st July. So from 27, 28 to 30th, we move to ADJEN KOTOKU, where you see we intend working, but no space. We intend working, but the shade is not there. We intend working, you see the ground floor is not finished. We intend working where the contractor have to pull the building and fill floor, he didn't finish. So we are appealing to the regional minister to tell the contractor to finish his work for his people so that they can sit and enjoy themselves.
He's pleading with the contractor to fast-track the work, or they may need the help of security officers to calm the growing impatient members by the day.
We need a security. We need a security here to help us. But right now, in our sharing, also we need a security. Because
is it that the situation may escalate? Is that what you're saying?
No, but we need a security.
On which ground?
For some reasons. For my reason, you see, as you can see, somebody has drunk or is making rough here. This is what I want the ministers to know that. Listen, add him, so that I want the regional minister to know that we need a security, so that we can share our thing amicably. We don't like any rough, any misunderstanding.
Away from AGBOGBLOSHIE, the African Union is pushing for an increase in member state contributions as budgetary deliberations for the year 2022 begins. According to the union member, states contributed only 23% to the 2021 budget, 52% below the AU's projections. But Foreign Affairs Minister Shirley Ayokobotre wants the union to focus on ensuring prudent management of member states' contributions, stressing some countries are still grappling with the impact of COVID-19 on the economies.
As you are about to review the 2022 budget proposals, let me commend you, the members of the subcommittee and the F-15, for the good work that you are doing, especially your ability to reduce for the first time the 2021 budget of the African Union during the sittings in 2020. This achievement is especially remarkable because the reduction positively affected the assessed contribution of member states to the Union. The economy of the African continent is projected to shrink to between -1.1% and 0.8%, according to the report of the African Union, and -1.6% according to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. As a consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic, all our economies have experienced negative impacts. It is important that public finances are managed prudently in order to ease hardships and enable investments in critical sectors for growth. I urge you all, therefore, to work hard to ensure the necessary austerity measures are put in place in the 2022 budget. It is my hope that you will be guided by the golden rules for the proper management of the AU's finances adopted in January 2018 as you discuss the 2022 budget of the AU and its organs. Those rules provide you with the basic principles to ensure creditable budgeting and effective financial management of the African Union. As member states, we would like to see value for the contributions we make, value in terms of the impact of the programs and projects we roll out and implement on the continent, on the lives of our peoples. Like many of our member states, the government of Ghana is particular about the competence, skills, and efficiency of officers and staff of the Union. We want to see the quota policy respected to ensure that all member states are fully represented in the Commission and not just the selected few.
Parliament has ordered a probe into how the National Health Insurance Authority allocated 205 million Ghana cedis for the management of its ICT systems for the year 2021 out of its 2.6 million cedis budget. A report of the House approving the formula for the disbursement of the National Health Insurance Fund for 2021 describes the expenditure as outrageous. The report said it was even more worrying that beyond this amount, another 16 million cedis has been set aside for other ICT-related activities. MPs are concerned such expenditures are leaving less available sums for the real task of taking care of the health of the populace. Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak says Parliament has a responsibility to ensure the NHIA is not wasting taxpayers' money. Listen to him speak on the floor of the House last night.
Mr. Speaker, we don't intend to say that let's frustrate the approval of the formula, but I think this House must take keen interest, and especially the Health Committee must call the authority to bring whatever contracts they have in all these areas and scrutinize and play their rightful oversight. Go on site and look at all the sites and what they are exactly doing, because these descriptions point to one thing. Meanwhile, they've been segmented. And we are paying here, we are paying there, we are paying there. We need to overcome this challenge. Other than that, the rate at which it's going from 47 million in 2017 to 205 in 2021, I doubt in the next 5 years, the IT system of the Health Insurance Authority may consume close to $500 million Ghana cedis, and that cannot be right. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want us as a House to take note of this and hope that the Health Committee, together with this House, would demand the right things be done. Let us see the documentations, let's do the visitation, let's play our oversight properly to convince ourselves beyond reasonable doubt that there are no possibilities of waste in these finances. With this comment, Mr. Speaker, I want to add, knowing very well that we are already in June, and the running of this fund is well behind time to approve the formula, but to ensure that all these concerns that have been raised, not only here, but with GETFund and all of them, especially in their reporting, is improved so that at least we can play our oversight better.
Meanwhile, Parliament has approved an amount of 1.4 billion Ghana cedis for the Ghana Education Trust Fund, out of which 30.2 million Ghana cedis is going to members of Parliament for emergency projects and monitoring. Get Fund is spending 866 million cedis out of the total amount, representing 60% to pay back debt. About 30 million cedis of the amount will be used to cover expenses for a special purpose vehicle, Dachi, which will help Get Fund raise 1.3 billion cedis on the bond market. Minority Leader Haruna Ijiso is unhappy with the expenditures. He says Dachi is a plan to siphon, loot, and share state resources.
Dachi bond pricing analysis. And Mr. Speaker, we are demanding that Dachi be swept out, Dachi be weeded out as an intermediary in the financing of Get Fund. It's a needless bureaucracy. The Get Fund Act has two important bureaucracies. The board, that is its most important governance structure. Beyond the board is the administrator. Then beyond the administrator, Mr. Speaker, is Parliament. That is why they are here. So you don't need a Dachi. If you understand simple economics, why must you go and borrow in the name of Dachi? Why? 2.5% VAT, you are using receivables to borrow. Any bank in the world will give you money. You don't need a Dachi. I have revenue accruing from 2.5% VAT. It should go into a fund which has a board. Then beyond the board and the administrator, the Ministry of Finance is creating a structure called Dachi to siphon money. This must stop. This must stop. You don't need a Dachi to loan money for Get Fund. This is not acceptable. We have no problem with the principle. But Mr. Speaker, why are you now paying money on bond service in the name of Dachi? Where is the Get Fund board? Where is the Get Fund administrator? What are the governance structures within the Get Fund Act? And you go and create an additional vehicle to share. I will borrow the words of the Supreme Court, to loot and share. Why? I will borrow.
Away from Parliament, government statistician Professor Samuel Kobina Enim has revealed the greatest challenge faced by enumerators and supervisors of the 2021 population and housing census in the Upper West region is their inability to get the footprints of the buildings they obtained from the satellite images. He says the officials are not able to define the buildings separate and independent, and as a result, they are unable to achieve 100% building footprints. He says the issue pertains only in the Upper West, East, and Northeast regions. He made the disclosure in WA as part of his day's tour of the region. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobina Enim, official tour of the Upper West region, first took him to the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council to meet with its Chief Director, Peter M. Mala, who sat in for the regional minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Sali. Professor Enim stated that the two objectives for the population and housing census are complete coverage and accurate data collection, and has therefore commended the team in the Upper West region for completing all the tracking and listing in the 11 municipalities and districts in the region. He however cautioned them not to be complacent in order not to miss any structure or persons.
Ahead of the census exercise, we had some benchmark data which we used to assess our complete coverage. And this is the building footprints that we obtained from satellite imagery. Understandably, in the Upper West region, in the Upper East region, and the Northeast region, we have realized that we are yet to achieve 100% of the building footprint. This is partly because of the way the images pick the building footprint, and also for the fact that they are not able to sort of define the buildings or the structures as separate and independent. But we don't have to just take it for granted. It's important to ensure that we are taking stock of every structure, and for that matter, every person that lives around it.
Chief Director of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, Peter M. Mala, assured the government statistician of the support of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council to ensure that the exercise becomes a success.
As chairman of the RCIC, we have also carried out a number of activities. In terms of security, we have alerted the security agencies to be aware that the census is on, and any incident that may occur, we quickly will rally them around and ensure that the census is successful.
Also present at the meeting was the one mayor, Isako Tire movement.
A lot of preparations have been made. You have very solid people, a very solid team representing you in the region, who coordinated very well with the agencies concerned in this work. And then we have all contributed our part to ensure the success of this particular exercise.
Professor Enim later called on the overlord of the Wala traditional area, now for Saint People the Fourth, and his subjects at his palace.
It is an all-inclusive activity. It is a non-discriminatory activity. And when we say it is non-discriminatory, irrespective of your religious affiliation, irrespective of your party affiliation, irrespective of your ethnic background, census is the only activity that brings all of us together, because it makes an attempt and indeed work towards hearing the voice of everyone in the farthest place or wherever we can find ourselves in the country.
One of Hussein City People the Fourth in a speech on his behalf by spokesperson Jimpena Kadri Ibrahim has some concerns which he will want the government's association to intervene.
A number of Gonja settlers from the Savannah region settling in Kandia in the Upper West region, and particularly in the Wa East district. And for some time now, there have been attempts to annex that community to the Savannah Regional House of Chiefs, and for that matter, the Gonja Traditional Council. So His Majesty believes that census, the activities of the Ghana Statistical Service with regard to census, population and housing census, is one of the things that could rectify such anomalies.
Reporting for the news, Rafik Salam. Wow.
The story of the Bansa twins conjoined at the head continues to be a unique one. 3 months after the birth of the twins, a surgery still remains on hold, with 3 million cedis being the stumbling block in separating the two. General Manager of GH1 and Star FM, Nana Banamwa, has joined efforts to raise funds for the procedure and is calling on the benevolence of Ghanaians to jump on board the initiative to save the Siamese twins.
I mean, every bit of their story is touching. What I find fascinating the most is the drive by the doctors and nurses here in this country to separate them. It will be the first in this country. And I think the association with the first makes it even more special. And I think that Ghanaians should be proud that we have a team here in Ghana that can do this. And so they should be associated with the first as well, by reaching into their pockets, deep into their pockets, to donate, to help these kids. 3 million Ghana cedis is a lot of money. Obviously, their mother hasn't got it, their father hasn't got it. So it behoves all of us to put our heads together, put our resources together, and make it happen for her and these wonderful boys, most importantly. So that's why I'm here, just to get people. And so this is a CSR project. I know every media house is interested in it. So EIB Network is also trying as much as possible to help with all the efforts taking place across the country to raise funds for them.
We'll take a break. We'll bring you part 2 of Business with Gifty and Apia.
And we're back with some more business. Now, the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana will soon launch Ghana's first Customer Satisfaction Index report. It is also expected to launch the Brand Index project, which will ensure that all regions in the country will be ranked based on indices such as peace and beautification by the end of the year. President of the Institute, Dr. Daniel Kasati, says engagement with key stakeholders have reached an appreciable stage to ensure its quick implementation. He spoke at the Institute's 31st Annual General Meeting held here in Accra.
Speaking at the Annual General Meeting of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, President Dr. Daniel Kasati said the Brand Index project will position the country as an attractive investment destination. According to him, CIMG is ready to contribute its quota to making the country an attractive environment.
On the front of research, we have indicated that sometime last year we announced the launch of the Customer Satisfaction Index, which we have started in ENS. I indicated that we are done with the banking. So sometime in July, we'll be inviting you guys to come around as we launch Ghana's first customer satisfaction index report for the nation. We're also planning to launch the brand index before the end of the year. As I indicated, we need to do a lot of stakeholder consultations. I have mentioned that we'll be talking to the local government ministry, and we'll also be talking to the tourism ministry. These two ministries are so key because of the nature of the index that we intend to launch.
Auditing firm Jonipa and Associates indicated that the institute has kept proper records of its accounts.
The Section 137 of the Ghana Companies Act 2019, Act 992, required that in carrying out our audit work, we consider and report on the following matters, and we confirm that 1, we have obtained all information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2, in our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the Institute, so far as appear from our examination of those books. And 3, the balance sheet and the income statement of the Institute are in agreement with the books of account.
Meanwhile, returning officer of the Institute's election committee, Samuel Kwa, declared the results of the new governing council of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana.
At the close of the elections, these are the results. The total members who are on good standing happens to be 439. And the number of members who cast their vote happens to be 204. And these are the results of the elections. The following people have been elected as council members. These are Hilda Piasa, Amaje Amwa, and Kwesichre. Alfred Boyan has been elected as National Treasurer. Isaac Sowa has also been elected as National Secretary. Theodore Osei has been elected as National Vice President. Daniel Kazati has been elected as National President.
CIMG's first professional marketing examinations will come off in September this year.
MTN Ghana has disclosed that it is investing $149 million in network expansion and modernization to keep up in the global transition to digitization. Chief Executive Selom Adadivo says this will improve its services to meet the rising demand of consumers, including enterprises.
Speaking at the launch of MTN Ghana's campaign dubbed Accelerating Digitization of the Informal Sector, Chief Executive Selom Adadivo said the investment in network expansion would help Ghana keep up with the rest of the world in the digitization process.
With technology-based innovations such as e-payments, business management suites, e-commerce, marketplace, apps, to name a few, the achievement of a modern connected life for MSMEs in Ghana will be greatly enhanced. Being fully aware of the enormity of the accelerated digitization, We're investing a total of $149 million in network expansion and modernization this year to meet the demand for digital services from customers, from consumers, and from MSMEs.
Chief Enterprise Business Officer at MTN, Samuel Ado, also assured enterprises of modifying solutions to suit their challenges. According to him, MTN has a wide range of services to meet the demands of SMEs, but the enterprises are unaware of them, hence the call on businesses to visit their offices for specific solutions.
MTN, we have packages for individuals and we have packages for businesses. In the business segments, we have a package we call SME Plus, which has a lot of goodies, including data packages, which are specially packaged for SMEs. One of the benefits of that SME Plus is you make free calls on Mondays. I'm sure most businesses don't know that. Monday is the beginning of the business week. And if you can make all your business calls free on Monday, voila, that is great business. So there's a lot of packages we have for you. The difference is that for businesses, you don't do off the shelf, you do customize. So speak to us. You have our social media handles, you saw our numbers, and speak to us, tell us what you are doing, and then we'll come in and show you how best we can tailor special solutions for your needs.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive of Haptel Ghana, Alex Bram, who also addressed the event, said the best way to run a business is to do it digitally. He said any business running solely on cash is bound to lose money and data.
To date, there are still businesses that depend solely on cash. And if you show up with any electronic forms of payment, you are pushed away. But what is becoming evident is that cash robs a business of more than just money. It robs you of knowledge to grow your business. And if you encourage your customers to be paying with paper, you're always losing a lot of information.
The campaign, Accelerating Digitization of the Informal Sector, is aimed at supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises to enable them fully access international markets.
Now, 15 employers who have failed to honor Tier 2 pension contributions of their employees are being processed for prosecution by the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. This follows warnings to the recalcitrant firms. According to the NPRA, it has so far, however, recovered about 6.2 million cedis from defaulting firms since it issued legal action against them July last year. Charles Nixon Yeboah has more.
Chief Officer of the NPRA, Hayford Atakrofi, told the media in a press briefing that quite a number of employers are not complying with the Tier 2 pension scheme. According to him, this is not good for some employees as they will be denied of pension benefits when they retire.
The provisions of the Act 766 of 2008, mandated employers to register and contribute to the basic National Social Security Scheme, which is Tier 1, and occupational pension schemes, which is the Tier 2. Unfortunately, many of these employers were not complying with the provisions of the law, leading to some employees of such establishment being disadvantaged at a period of their lives when they would no longer be able to earn income and fend for themselves. Unfortunately, we didn't have also the powers to prosecute. And this negated the authorities' mandate of ensuring retirement income security for workers.
Meanwhile, the NPRA has completed the development of a new 5-year strategic plan to guide its operations from the year 2022 to 2026. It will be themed a visible NPRA, increasing coverage and growing pension assets for national development. The strategic plan will be focused on 5 key thematic areas. Here is Chief Executive Hayford Atakrofi again.
In 2017, the authorities started the implementation of its current 5-year strategic plan. And this plan runs out December this year. Now, the current plan focused on improving the financial independence of the authority, development of human capital for effective regulation of the industry, as well as the expansion of education and sensitization. I am pleased to say that a lot has been achieved with the plan that is nearing its end. To continue the tremendous work and the progress and the achievements made within the current strategic plan, the authority has now completed the development of a new 5-year strategic plan to guide its operation from the year 2022 to 2026.
Mr. Atakrofi later told Joy Business on the sidelines that pension assets under management has grown significantly despite the impact of COVID-19.
Over the first quarter of 2021, the pension assets under management has continued to grow tremendously, and therefore the upward trajectory has been very good. Also, in terms of the performance of the corporate trustees has also been very positive. Currently, we have 30 corporate trustees who are now renewing their licenses to continue operation. And also, we've had about 5 schemes that have applied for registration.
As of June this year, a little above 6 billion cedis has been paid to corporate trustees, which the MPRA described as encouraging.
Well, that'll be all for business tonight. There is more news at myjoyonline.com. My name is Gifty Ando Apia, and we'll be here again tomorrow, God willing. And we have sports with Hans Mensa Ando. And then Aisha Ibrahim takes over the news. Have a good evening.
Thanks for staying with us. Time to bring you the second installment of sports. I am Hans Mensa Ando. Ghana's lower division side, Far Rangers, has responded to the Ghana Football Association's disciplinary committee charges against them regarding their decision to rescind from all GFA competitions on exactly June 9, 2021. The second-tier side wrote to the Ghana Football Association to withdraw from the Division 1 league and all competitions of the association following series of unpleasant scenes against them in their campaign, though the management of the club wrote to rescind their earlier decision to step out of the ongoing 2020-2021 league campaign, but face the wrath of the GFA. On Wednesday, the association released a verdict for their decision to withdraw from mid-term constitution in accordance with the article of the Division 1 league regulations. The club, with its management and board of directors, which also has Asante Kotoku's chief executive officer, Nanaya Mponsa, in part have been banned from all football-related activities for 5 years, taking effect from the 2020-2021 Ghana League season. However, the club, with its administrative manager Hamid Saka, believes they are not guilty of the charges leveled against them and will appeal accordingly. The assistant coach of Legon Cities FC, Wahid Mohammed, says the club needs to win the rest of their GPL games to stay in the Premier League next season.
Yes, it never happened before since the team is recruited, and it's sad. But as I said, we have to move on. Some time ago, it was the same, but it wasn't a 3-match in a row. Play, win, some we drew, and we lost some matches. But now we started winning continuously, about 4 or 5 matches, and it started again. The reason was simple, you know. There are some players that we lost, and we through injuries, some through national team, and some cards. So that affects us a lot. But thank God everybody's set back now and we're preparing towards Bichim United.
We are playing on Saturday. What is the word to the players now on the back of this not too good run?
We lost 3 matches, and as I said, it's back of their mind that it shouldn't happen anymore. Everybody's said the league is about to end. We have to justify ourselves right now from taking care team up to the players. So everybody knows what is at stake. We have to win this game to survive. So this is our final crucial match, and every player knows about it. We have to win at all costs.
How confident are you that we can be Bichim?
I would say a lot of confidence in the sense that we have prepared a lot towards this match. Coming from the performance against Asofok, King Selma was so different team, which was about 6-7 players were not around, and now everybody's in. We have to end confidentially. We just saw what happened this morning. We are bringing everybody together on board, and we win it and prepare towards the rest of the matches and the FA.
And that's it for sports. You can read more at myjoyonline.com/sport. I am Hans Mensa Ando. Over to you, Aisha.
And that'll be it for the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more over there of the developing stories. Up next is PM Express Business Edition with George Riavi. To enjoy the rest of our programs.